Hi guys, so on Thursday night, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak flew to Belfast in what was seen as perhaps the final step in the process to resolve the dispute between the United Kingdom and the European Union over the Northern Ireland Protocol. Now, this disagreement over the accord, which was signed back in January 2020, sold to the British people as the oven-ready deal, but known by most as the Withdrawal Agreement, which contains the Protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland. So, are we seeing the light at the end of the tunnel?
I have some breaking news as it relates to the Northern Ireland Protocol, or potentially to that, because the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is understood to be travelling to Northern Ireland amid growing speculation that a deal between the UK and the EU over the Northern Ireland Protocol could soon be unveiled. He's expected to meet with local political parties while in the region. He last visited Northern Ireland in December, so he's understood to be travelling to Northern Ireland as we speak. Of course, there's been growing rumours that a renegotiated deal on the Northern Ireland Protocol was getting closer, albeit Number 10 has always said that no deal has been done. This trip certainly raises the possibility that a deal is closer, and on top of that, the Prime Minister will be seeing quite a few EU leaders, including, all importantly, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen this weekend at the Munich Security Conference, obviously a conference for different reasons, but he will be there seeing them. So preceding that trip with this trip that is understood to be taking place to Northern Ireland certainly will raise the prospects and people's hope that maybe a deal is in the works on the Northern Ireland Protocol, something that would then potentially upset certain members of his party, but we shall see what the terms are.
Okay, upset who? Upset the ERG. Now, there's a big problem I have with this report from Sky News, is he mentioned two things here. He mentioned renegotiated, and he mentioned a deal. The Northern Ireland Protocol is not being renegotiated. I don't know where he got that idea from. And this is something you hear a lot in British media about how, you know, the UK and the EU are renegotiating the Northern Ireland Protocol. They're not. It's not being renegotiated. I don't know why they keep saying this. Is it to convince people in Britain that, yes, that there's something wrong with the protocol and it needs to be fixed and both parties are sitting down and renegotiating it? No. That's not happened. It's not happening now. The problem with the protocol, the implementation of the protocol, is both sides agreed to something and one side did not uphold its side of the agreement. The UK government was supposed to build infrastructure back in 2020. It didn't build infrastructure, permanent infrastructure to carry out checks. The EU continually asked the UK government when Boris Johnson was in charge, have you built the infrastructure? And they said, we need more time. They built temporary infrastructure, and I don't know if that permanent infrastructure has yet been built. The EU at the same time asked for live data of goods moving from Great Britain into Northern Ireland. That was part of the agreement. The UK said, yes, we will do that when they signed the agreement. And I think it was about a month ago where we heard news that both sides agreed that the EU would have access to live data. And this was presented as some sort of renegotiation. And now we have once again a deal, quote unquote, between the EU and the UK over the Northern Ireland Protocol. And once again, I believe it's just a case of the EU saying, you agreed to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't do X, Y, and Z. You did X and Y, or you just did X. And the UK government now saying, yes, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And we've done a bit of X and we've done a bit of Y, and we're still working out Z. And this is presented as some sort of deal. Now, if this is enough to convince people within Rishi Sunak's government that he has got one over on the EU, fantastic, good. That's all we need to hear. That's all we need to know. If it's enough to get the DUP back into the Northern Ireland Executive, to to get a government in Northern Ireland up and running, power sharing, having Sinn Féin and the DUP working together. If that's what the EU have to say, yeah, we've worked out a deal, we've renegotiated the Northern Ireland Protocol. If that's what they have to say in order to convince these people to do this, good, go with it. But back in reality, the Northern Ireland Protocol is not being renegotiated. It hasn't been renegotiated. Now, you're probably saying, well, how do you know? You're not privy to the negotiations. Because in order to renegotiate it, you would have to have formal negotiations. You'd even have to have the joint committee brought back. The joint committee, of course, was supposed to be brought back when Article 16 was triggered. Article 16 was not triggered. So the joint committee was not put into motion. So this is a case of what can we sell to the British people, the Brexiteers within Rishi Sunak's government party, and what can we sell to the DUP? And if this works, go with it, as I said. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.